just started.
What'd you do?
I'm streaming.
Guys, whoa, we're flying. We're flying. Whoa, look at that.
I'm just gonna.
Bomb.
I don't like heights. What? Starbucks?
Hey, where? Where's Starbucks? Where did you somebody?
Oh, yeah,
Be careful with your phones, guys. Your phone's still in your hand. They ain't coming back.
That's why I'm holding mine.
Why we have pops up here?
That's why I don't have a case.
Really?
Yes.
That's why I had. But that's why I got like the most expensive case.
Whoop, whoop. This is under the police.
I really want a picture. Come back for another picture.
All right, everyone.
Yep.
Perfect.
Hold up.
All right, so you guys, where you are standing right now, this is technically called the Progress of the State. That's what the statue is. We kindly just call it the quadriga, which means 4 horses. So the 4 horses right there represent, it's an ancient classical Roman design that represents earth, wind, fire, and water. So it's called the Progress of the State, and it stands for Minnesota moving forward, you know, always progressing, going forward. The woman in the middle represents agriculture, which is huge for Minnesota, as well as industry. So that's what this giant statue represents. Now, it's not 100% gold. It's actually a copper base, and then it's covered in gold leaf. So that's usually your question if that's 100% gold. It is not. It's covered in gold. What? Okay, that's a pigeon. You guys probably seen a bird before. Not that. Not on a gold horse. All right. Well,
Oh my god.
so, that is actually the state bird. No, I'm just kidding. So no, that's just normal shoveling.
That's like
Anyway, so a couple things about the Capitol. I wanted to bring you guys up here first. Number one, Carter is pretty awesome and it's beautiful outside, so you can spend more time up here as you look around. Obviously, see everything around the surrounding area. You've got St. Paul right there, and if you're looking far away, you can see Minneapolis all the way up here. So it's pretty cool.
Oh yeah.
So this is Minnesota's 3rd capital. So there's 2 other capitals prior to this one. The first one burnt down in the 1850s, and they had to build another one, which wasn't big enough. Minnesota grew very rapidly in the late 1800s and the early 1900s. So they had to build another one, and that's where we're at right now. So a couple things too about this capital. So the design, pretty much everything about this building was done by a man named Cass Gilbert. You may not know who that is, but he's very important for this capital because basically everything went through him. He really wanted to showcase everything awesome about Minnesota as a whole. So this building, which you see, is pretty impressive, right? Pretty impressive. So there's a lot of cool things that he wanted to showcase about Minnesota because for the most part, during this time when the building was being built in the rest of the country, pretty much if you had to live like in New York City or Boston, otherwise everyone else kind of thought maybe Chicago, but for the most part everyone thought that the rest of the country was like, bleh, like who cares, right? Why would you want to go there? And that wasn't the case. So Cass Gilbert wanted to design a really beautiful building so that when you came to St. Paul, when you came to Minneapolis, you would leave and be impressed. Do you think this building is impressive? Yeah. So
Yes.
I think he did his job, right? He did a good job.
Impressive.
He actually went on to design a lot of very fancy buildings too in Washington, D.C. And all over the country too. So Cass Gilbert became very famous because of this building. So as we go through the different spots in this building, number one, just kind of bear with me. As you can tell, it is busy right down there. A lot of things that we normally would be able to see are closed until a certain time, so we're going to have to be quiet and kind of sneak in. So when we try to get to the House of Representatives, which is going to be right where when we walk up the stairs, we're going to be able to go in there, but we're going to have to be super, super, super quiet because they're actually voting on stuff right now. So all the representatives are here and they're voting. So when we get in there, we're just going to kind of more or less just walk through for you guys, also to give you guys a chance to at least look in to see what it looks like, right? So we can stand there for a little bit, you just can't talk. So I'll tell you a little bit about that when we get down there. Any questions? Yes.
How did they build all the way up there?
Scaffolding, which is like just layers. They put like kind of like ladders. They just kind of put stack and you just kind of go up to the next level. You just keep going up, and so they do it at, one at a time. So kind of just
Stack, you know, they're so fast.
all the way up.
Oh, the bus
Which
is
brings me to a cool point, which we'll see when we get inside. But this Capitol, or the dome you're looking at, that's kind of hard to see because we only see one little spot of it. But remember, we walked right through the middle of the rotunda, that early on the first floor. When you looked up, it was massive, right? So this dome that goes all the way around is the 2nd largest freestanding marble dome in the world. So the only dome that's larger is